Hello and welcome to episode 66, which happens to be the Champions edition of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. A podcast about all things Hastings United. I'm your host Chris Laverick, and on today's show we've got shout-outs, Tim's takes, and a truly special SBTS fan roundtable with title-winning Hughes boss Gary Elphick giving extended insights into this glorious team and glorious season. Enjoy, Hastings fans. And now over to the shout-outs. This is a shout-out from the Hastings United Independent Supporters Club. This Saturday's game against VCD Athletic is the inaugural HUISC Fan Day 2022. We've already got 5 lucky members, young'uns, getting the full official mascot treatment as part of the day, and we will have a stall out throughout the day doing early bird sign-ups for next season's membership at this season's price of only £10. This is a steal of a deal you're already getting this season, and it's only going to get better as we have secured a Supporters Club discount on HUFC merchandise from 1066 logos, on top of our bar deals and discounted supporters travel. So Hughes fans, get yourself signed up and join the ever-growing Supporters Club. Come on, get involved. Let's make next season our best ever. See you at the game. This one's from Tim Reeves. This is a really special one for a special cause. So we got to dig out the old Channel 4 racing music. This is the 10th Barry Gurr Memorial Race Day, and it's on Thursday, May 19th at Linfield Park. Return coach fare, entrance race tickets, programme, raffle ticket and use of hospitality lounge, only 40 quid per person. Coaches leave 10:15 to 11 a.m. staggered. Return to Hastings by 7 p.m. The 4th coach is now booking, so contact Tim Reeves on 07 985 772 174 if you're interested. And remember, all proceeds go to St Michael's Hospice. Get your name down. And now over to Tim's takes.
Disappointing news to report from Welling, where I've just returned from their ground, where the Hastings United women's team drew 1-1 with Welling. At the same time, Acorns, our rivals, won their game 2-1. So it's made it a bit tricky for us now because we're 4 points behind. We've got 2 games to play. I'm thinking we'll probably win both those 2, but if Acorns win their last game, we won't be able to get that first place, which probably will put an end to our promotion hopes. But they have got to play Ashford Ladies away. If it's a draw or if they lose, then yeah, if we win our last 2 games, it'll still be okay. But enough of the disappointing news. It was a fantastic game at Welling, a ground where our men's team may well be playing next season. If they get relegated, we'll probably end up going there. It's a ground where Hastings United have played a few times before in the past. Nice ground. There was a good crowd there, an enthusiastic crowd. Hastings were missing 2 of their stalwarts from defence. Rebecca Ralph and Sophie Reed were both absent. Their replacements did a good job, in particular Megan Critchfield, who came in and played as centre-half alongside Rosie Muggeridge, and yeah, she was very solid and played really well. Welling had some really good players. We beat them very easily early on in the season, at the pilot field, but I think Billy did mention that their side has changed a lot since then, and they were very well organised. Their right winger was a real threat all game, up and down the right wing, good pace. And one of their forwards, number 8, was also a handful. So they were a lively side. It was a fantastic game. Both teams attacking, chances at either end. Welling dominated the early part of the game, and they hit the post with that right winger causing a bit of havoc down with one of her shot-come crosses. But we held on and we gradually got into the game, and towards half-time we did create a few good chances. Don't know how one effort from Molly was cleared off the line, and we were beginning to look dangerous, and we did score just before half-time. think, yeah, it came from a really good challenge on the halfway line by Megan Critchfield, who won a really good tackle. As a result, Molly was set free on the edge of the area, and she hit a chip shot which went over the top of the keeper's head into the goal. So we went in 1-0 up at half time. The second half was end to end as well, both sides attacking, and I was always hoping we were going to get that second goal, but it didn't come. And then from a very good corner they hit across. Blair spilled the cross. She was under a lot of pressure, and as she was falling, the ball bounced out of her hands, and one of their forwards just happened to be on hand to smash the ball into the roof of the net. So that was 1-1, and yeah, the game continued at a great pace. Claire Johnson, one of our midfield players, number 7, she never stopped running the whole game, and she put a terrific effort. Georgia Tibble, as usual, hit some fantastic passes, played well. Molly was very enthusiastic up front. Izzy Burt was very sound at full-back. Yeah, and Sian Heather was well marshalled by the defence, but again, she put in some good crosses. But a 1-1 draw was a disappointment as far as the scenario for the end of the season goes. But the whole game was fantastic. A credit to the ladies on both teams for providing such good entertainment. I think next week is the crucial game between Ashford and Acorns, and if Ashford could win or get a point in that game, it would do us a big favour. I think Acorns beat Ashford 3-2 in the home league game, but yeah, they'll be equally matched, and if Ashford have got a strong side out, it may end up all right.
And now over to the SBTS fan roundtable, and a big shout and love to Andy, Leon, John, George, Robbie, Matt, Smithy and Malcolm, and of course you Supremo Gary Elphick for making it happen.
Oh no, you're not going to start singing.
We're not. Well.
Have we got the power
I was going to wait. Andy had some choice opinions on your mates, that band.
Yeah, I've told him. He went straight to the dentist, Andy.
I think it's can they do a swap of his vocal cords?
Oh. You know, the week before I was trying to warn you in a subtle way, really.
It was funny. It was funny.
Under the bus.
It brought the punters in.
And out.
I think the funniest thing, John, was that so many of the tunes were from my sort of era.
I know, mate.
And it was like having your favourite pet dismembered in front of your eyes.
I've actually stopped going to see them because it's a bit too cringy.
Hang on. Wait, who's the so-called mate here? What,
yeah,
you just throw your mates under the bus?
Well, afterwards, not before.
Right. Enough of that. Hang on. Champions edition. Champions edition, mate. Come on. Yeah, we love this.
I just see Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, falling off the bicycle.
Raising his shoulder.
For everyone there, glad to know this is great Superstars music. We've got all the stats here now, and I do believe a certain Gary Elphick's going to walk in this room in a minute. So, that can bugger off. Hello, Leon, Malcolm, Linda, Stroke Matt, Windy Gale, Robbie, John, George with a half-decent screen, and Mr. Andy. Right, and now we are welcoming a certain Gary Elphick, although we might have something for him. Here we go, here he is. Hello, Gary.
Chris, how are you, mate?
Wow.
I feel like it's Saturday night all over again.
I reckon Ben had a few beers. That does go on. That does go on, Gary.
Yeah, I know it does.
Well, Gary, absolute pleasure you're on. Obviously, got a lot of us here.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. I mean, how are you feeling?
It's a funny one, actually. It's more relief, to be honest with you, Chris. It has been 3 years coming. And actually, even though we were really miles clear, you just want to get over the line. And, to eventually get it done is great. And I was quite emotional, really. I had a little tear to the eye, but I'm just really happy for the group. I'm just all about protecting them group of players, and to help them fulfil what they truly deserve is something that's very close to me. So very relieved, man, and I am slightly proud of what the team and the team behind the team has achieved within the management staff as well. So it's great. It's great to finally go over the line.
Beautiful words there. You just come off the non-league show, haven't you?
Well, yeah, it's a White Hawk supporter that does it. I think his name's Odds. They call him Odds, or say Odds Podcast. So I've just come off that, and he to be honest with you, it was good to get a little bit of their side of things and how they look upon us as well. And
sorry,
Gary,
go on,
Gary, what was it like speaking to a real proper podcaster?
Oh, fuck
off. No comment. No, Chris is unbelievable, isn't he? He's the best at the job. He's a natural. He's a natural. Don't worry, Chris.
He's okay.
A natural something. I know that.
Chris, I just got to say I got a special guest coming on just for Gaz.
Oh, nice one.
Let's see with Gary Elphick.
Yeah.
Stoney.
Oh, he's a good-looking lad, this fella. Last time I saw this guy was in a kebab shop at 4 a.m.
I still had a beer though, didn't I?
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
What a man.
I don't think I've stopped since then either. How are you?
You all good, Craig? You all right?
All right, mate. Yeah, all right. Yeah, just brought Josh along and popped on to see the old man. Noticed obviously Monday night, so special night, isn't it? Monday nights.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. So, I've just been drinking water and eating healthy salads now. So,
yeah, no, same. Yeah, same.
I'm on the rehab route.
Obviously, a game Saturday, so
Stoney,
that's what I'll be doing. Yeah,
Stoney, you put that mannequin arms down now.
Well, I have
Mate,
no
how many
idea
nut
what you're
shots
on
did you
about. I'm not taking any of that blame for the mannequins.
You just walked up to me and nut shotted me with that mannequin arm.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Did someone else? It's funny.
I'll be honest. I had absolutely no idea and no recollection of that. So.
Oh, fair enough. It never happened then.
So it definitely wasn't personal. I don't remember it. There weren't a lot that I did, to be honest with you.
That was great celebrations.
Good fun. I'll leave you to it anyway. Great to see you all.
Yeah, and you.
All right.
Enjoy.
Again,
Yeah, take care, Stoney.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, top
Ain't
stuff,
gone
Malcolm.
far. He's only gone over there.
He did a fantastic job behind the bar, though.
Oh, wasn't it?
Clubhouse.
Unbelievable.
It's been is that fantastic nine game run of victories, and then the kind of it was because it was so done and dusted almost, wasn't it? It's been a funny these last couple of games. It must be difficult getting the psychology right in the team. Would you say? Has that been a bit of a battle? You know, when we're more or less over the line, and yet there's the excitement there, which brings on a bit of nerves. Then you've got a whopping crowd, haven't you? Last week, but still got to do the final business.
Yeah, I almost actually felt sorry for the guys last week. Actually, I thought we was almost like a victim of our own success in regards of the pressure that was on our shoulders. But I said actually after the game, I actually felt it was a vital point to achieving our objective. I think I really do think Hayward Heath are no mugs. I think they're physically pretty imposing. I think they're well drilled. Could be slightly defensive on the day, but I think any time in the season we would have got that result and been on the run we had been on, people would have taken their hats off and said it's a fair point. We move on. Obviously, I wanted it. You know, I had to collect my thoughts. I sat in the office for half hour on my own and just had to calm myself down, because the players had been fantastic, and they all they deserve is a pat on the back and a round of applause every time at the moment. And it would have been a fairy tale and all that, but do you know what? It's actually more my style to win at Faversham. You know, that's what we're about as a club. We can graft. I could, commitment, as I said to the lads on Saturday, commitment will give you a start, but consistency finishes it. And to go to somewhere like Faversham, bobbly pitch, is terrible, but still grafted, and we still got the point we needed. And I don't know, that sums me up as a human being a little bit. When it gets a bit mucky and that, I'd rather pull my sleeves up and get going. And it would have been lovely with the band and everything, the 3,000 and all that. But in a weird way, we've done it with real people that are close to the club, with a private 300 or 400, if you like. As I say, it's just fantastic to get over the line. And once again, credit. It's all about the group, the backroom staff and the team, and also a massive part is the fans, because I can G the players up in the dressing rooms, but when you go into the Cray Valleys away and that, and you see 200 or 300 of your own fans there, it definitely helps as well. So all in all, the package, when a club's going well, everything works in harmony from off the pitch and on the pitch. Billy Wood in the background, Darren Burney, Peter Sherlock doing what they do off it. It's a very well-oiled machine at the moment, and one that I hope that can keep going for next season.
Gary, who do you reckon to win the playoffs?
Do you know what? It's a real tight one to call. It really is. It's like, I really thought, you would have asked me this question last week, I thought Cray Valley looked back to their best, especially attacking. And I still think attacking-wise, they're probably the strongest force out of them all. But as we all know, sometimes with Cray Valley, if you bring them on here, it takes you to their weakness, and that's their defence probably. And I do worry about Cray Valley when they do get on, like someone like Haywards Heath could be Cray Valley's Achilles heel. That will bring them on, but they got athletes going forward for quick attacks. So it's a real, do you know what? And then you look at Ashford, especially if they get the home tie, because it's a game changer playing there. When we played there, we worked all week on how to go about it, and you've got to be right on your game to get any kind of result at Ashford. So, do you know what? In a weird way, Mel, it wouldn't surprise me to see Ashford get promoted in a weird way.
Yeah.
I think Haywards Heath going to be hard to break down.
Yeah, 100%.
You found that yourself, a couple of weeks ago. And,
they
only need to get a bit of shot up front, and then a couple of 1-0s. That's all it needs, isn't it? Yeah. I think Ashford. I think they're definitely the dark horses. Is Haywards Heath definitely? Definitely.
Rather than asking the question, I'd just like to say thank you actually to Gary, because for us, we're pretty new. We started coming to Hastings in October, but being there on Saturday, we saw the emotion in so many people who have been there a lot longer than we have, who it meant so much to. People like Pat, people like Dean, who were, we were talking to them afterwards, and they were almost welling up trying to explain their sort of happiness and success that's brought to them. So thank you more than anything.
Yeah. Well,
it's just a pleasure to be part of it. It is, and it's gone great. And you're right what you say. Like people like Pat McCrossan and all that. It's non-league teams wouldn't exist without people like that. So I am very thankful, and that's the way I like to stay as a human being as well. I want to be humble and remember the people along the way within that journey, and it's a special thing, that definitely.
Gary.
Sorry, John. John.
I was just going to ask Gary. Did you get in touch with anybody from Worthing after their result?
Yeah, I spoke to the chairman there, George Dell, because to be honest with you, he was the first one who even started my journey as even thinking of being a manager. So I still have a lot for him to thank for. I learned a lot about the running of a football club within non-league, and also I look back on it now, but it was one of my biggest failures is when I left Worthing, because there is little voices in your mind saying you're not good enough, and it affects you. It affects your personal life and that. But I'll hang a picture up of the day I left Worthing, because I now look at it as one of the big successes, because I learned so much from that happening, that I like to think now that I've come on again as a manager, that you need to learn from them failures to make you a success. I call it you fall forwards. You're not falling backwards. You're falling forwards because you're taking on challenges, and I will never back off from a challenge. And when I look at how we've done it this year at Hastings, one thing I've learned from Worthing is how to use a squad, how to use substitutions more effectively. So all them things is probably become because of my experience at Worthing. And, once again, next year, I've got to remain grounded. I haven't achieved nothing yet. I could be, football's a fickle game. 1 minute you're a hero, the next you can be zero in football. So I've got to remain grounded and just keep looking for self-improvement, ask more of my staff and my players. And, God loves a grafter. You've got to work hard at it.
Yeah. Not too grounded though, Gary. We won the league, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Not too grounded. You can enjoy this.
Yeah, it is. I did. I let my hair down Saturday night. We had a good sing-song, and obviously next couple of weeks I will. But I am always wary of it. I have always got that little bit of fear in my mind. And do you know what? It's probably a good thing, Chris, as well, to stay that way.
I just wanted to say thanks for hanging your boots up.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is that it's easy to get spread too thin, isn't it? And what immense pressure just managing a team like this is, really. Yeah. But it must have been so tempting to think you just keep playing a bit. Did you go through that at all, or did? But what
to be honest, I've got a lot to thank for my dad for that, really, because he saw the Craig game where we got beat in the last seconds, and I could have got the linesman in a headlock. So I was getting too emotional. And once again, from my experiences at Worthing, you've got to have that line in the sand, and you can't do it anymore. I don't think personally you can be a player manager. I think you've got, especially with a club like Hastings, you've got to commit to one job. And I'm thankful for my dad to be that honest to me. It's actually my body was packing up. I was playing through injuries that I should never have been doing. I was very thankful that I had a centre half like Craig Stone next to me, doing all the silky stuff, because he could still do it, and he still is doing it. Which means I could just jump up for headers and I could go through the pain a little bit. But yeah, if I was a horse, they would have put me down, I think. So I'm glad that the boots are up, and I'm actually glad that now people look at me and say Gary Alford, the manager, and not the player.
Yeah, fantastic. But you must have been itching on numerous occasions to be out there, sort of getting stuck in. But you still see a ball go up in the air, and there's part of me that wants to go Gary's and go and go and head it back. Yeah.
You might as well play yourself the last few games, didn't you? Won the league. You might as well have a kick about.
If you saw me in training the other week, I tell you, cool.
Probably still 10 times better than the rest of us. So.
Yeah.
Why don't you play yourself, and we get rid of that Fino Mara? We've got to sell him to someone.
I'm going to send him back to Folkestone, I think. So don't worry about that. No, and that's, to be honest with you, he's been a huge part to me as well, because he's been a centre half that I've actually really enjoyed working with, trying to improve, and to see him doing what he's done has actually made my job a hell of a lot easier coming off the pitch and managing it, because my frustration levels are nowhere near what they were maybe at Worthing when I was watching some centre halves come in and not doing quite things right. But to watch Finn and Stone, he's for a defender, his poetry in motion at times, and the clean sheets they've kept shows that. So that's another huge bit of joy that's been in my managerial career so far, to see them too. And Louis Rogers, who's made some fantastic saves, very underrated in my opinion. And every time we put a fullback on, TC was one of my earliest decisions to do, which is one I look back on with great honour him. I'm proud of that decision I made. And Marcus and Obi, every time they play, they do us good as well. So, it's been great. It really has.
Did you teach Finn how to do the overhead kick as well, did you?
Yeah, we worked at that.
I thought so, yeah.
Numerous times, but I think I would have killed myself trying to do that. So it's an incredible goal. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure how far Finn can go actually in his career. And I mean that seriously, because I've only sort of started being with him and trying to coach him and Mino and the other coaching staff and even playing with Stoney. So he's only going to get better. He's still only really young. And I look forward to seeing him, going up a level as well again.
Out of 4 months as a manager, and you've won the Manager of the Month 3 times, that must make that move from playing to managing so much easier. Like the vindication, where you must be like fucking right, sorted.
It's a little bit of recognition where you think you're going about your job right, but even like the Stoney and the players, this every time I get the award, they're just they stay in a pack on my table. Because once again, I haven't got to display them to anyone. It's I don't want to get cocky or just remain grounded and just keep doing what I'm doing. So it's a bit of recognition, but as I say, it's all about the group for me and my management staff and trying to keep you fans happy.
Yeah, we've only touched on it a bit, Gary, but how good has Mino been with you?
Yeah, he's great. I think in all walks of life, you need partnerships. It's horses for courses. I know my strengths. Mino knows his strengths. And, we was joint managers at Worthing. And towards the end, it didn't quite work because there wasn't a senior figure. The players didn't really know who to look to. But Mino knows now he's a coach. I know now that I couldn't deliver a session like Mino, but, my strengths within the dressing room and overviewing the game and making subs. So together, we really do work well. And he's been key, Malk, because he gives so much energy on the training ground. And when Aggie left, I felt that was exactly what we needed. And I think it has been an inspired decision by the club to bring someone like him in.
Yeah, I got to really know him in the last, 5 or 6 games. But I can tell from the players and certainly say from Craig, how much they really get on with Mino and and respect him and enjoy his sessions really. So
he's brilliant. Our typical week I'll probably watch 2 or 3 games or highlights, whatever footage I can of the opponents, and then decide sort of what way we go about it. And then I'll sort of say to Brownie and Mino, this is what I want to do, and they will deliver a session on a Thursday related to that. And it's been like all them 9-game winning streaks and that. It's all because of that work. I feel we've had. If you watch some of our training games on a Thursday, we have harder training games than we do on a match day on a Saturday. And sometimes I'll just step back from it and watch it at the training ground, and it's great to watch. It's proper. Yeah. There's a bit of competitiveness there, and I just think once again with successful teams, that's what you're always experiencing with training sessions.
Yeah.
What mindset are you at the minute? Are you still sort of just taking each game as it comes, or are you sort of now thinking about next season, like any sort of like 1 or 2 players that you might have in mind, or you just
I think a little bit about legacy, to be honest with you. So I really do want to break the points record. I think this Hastings team, this Hastings era, deserves to break that points record. I really do want to keep the best defensive record, and I still want us to score the most goals. So there's still a bit of motivation in there where business ain't quite fulfilled for me just yet this season. So we got the lads back in on Thursday. We'll be talking again about how we go about the games over the weekend and probably utilising the squad as well, which we're going to have to with a quick succession of games. So I'm very 50-50 with one eye definitely getting business done this year, but also I'd be stupid not to have a slight eye on next season as well, and recruitment, pre-season, booking everything in. And to be honest with you, I've even got to get my personal position sorted out as well with the club, which, there's going to be no questions there. I want to stay and I will stay. I think the club want me to stay, hopefully, and I would like to get that sorted out as well, because then it gives me direction of how I want to go about it. There's things I want to tweak in the background. So yeah, it's a bit of 50-50 at the moment. I want to get, as I say, get business done, but also there's definitely things I need to get the ball rolling now with next season as well.
Gary, on Saturday there's going to be a massive gate again, as you know, and I think after the last big gate there was quite a few people a bit disappointed. Ones that don't normally come, you know, they're there for middle hunters, if you like. Just make sure they really do it. Do you know what I mean?
I
know you will,
totally
but there's so many people that are sort of a little bit, they're not usually there, and they feel, well, why do we bother? You know, I just want you to prove it to them. That's why.
Yeah, that's my message to the lads. I was actually going to say, like, treat it like a training session in regards as in training, you can see at times they let the shackles off. They're more relaxed, free flowing football. And I did feel that there were certain players that did succumb to the nerves slightly.
Understandable,
especially the younger lads. And once again, when I look back on that game, you know, they will come on so much just from that one game where I think, well, next time I'm in a dressing room like that, I've got to do this or I've got to, you know, relax. And TC, for instance, he weren't quite at it. He wasn't making his natural sort of decisions, and he was thinking about things too much rather than just playing what was in front of him. And that's really what I want to see Saturday.
Yeah, it's all a learning curve, isn't
it? Yeah, exactly. Go out there as champions, let the shackles off, and let's get a few people off their seats clapping. And I'm really hopeful that we can deliver.
Just want to hear 3,000 people when the goal goes in. It didn't happen.
When that roar. Yeah, no, exactly.
Rather than claim for a penalty.
What, even in the main stand? Even in the main stand, yeah?
You're sweet, man.
No, we don't do that in the main stand.
No, none of that.
Absolutely. Lots of people falling all over the place. Beer everywhere.
What sandwiches everywhere.
Flat white coffee everywhere.
What I feel is very reassuring. What's very reassuring, thinking of going up a level and a bit of an unknown quantity, but is and I think Matt would back me up here. The great Arsenal sides always had this spine going through them. So you've got, when you think of the determination, the example, the aggression, of starting from Finn and Stoney and then Jack Dixon in the middle and then Popey up front. There's that example to everyone, isn't there, of the fight, the determination, and
that's too old now, John.
You don't want an Arsenal spine, mate. They're fucking miles off the pace, Wills. What are you talking?
Hang on.
Did anyone get a good view of Dicko's tackle?
There you go. Sorry, that was John.
Oh, you had to bring that into it, didn't you?
About Dicko again.
He's too old. He's got to get another partner for Finney now.
He's got 7 more years, I think.
It's a fantastic partnership, but it's just when the graft's got to be done, you know. Oh, that's my pump. Sorry.
Hang on.
I just wanted to say that is
999.
Is that his emergency cord? The nurse will be in a minute.
It is my insulin pump, actually. You know, I wouldn't take the mickey out of the disabled. You know, I have enough of that with my hand.
What's wrong with you?
I do plenty of that off camera, mate. Don't worry.
Nurse.
Chris, you're lucky you ain't got a Will Smith sat there, mate. I'm telling you.
Gina will be there in a minute.
Well, he's thought about Arsenal and his blood sugars.
Gina, could you sort out this pump, please?
Don't die live on air, please.
Oh, I can't.
Honestly, don't. He probably needs to just change.
You think that if he does die, your ratings will go. Rocket.
Thinking of podcast ratings,
tens of more people.
A live death on air.
Yeah, I love you, John, but you do this podcast wonders.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Good night, John.
Yeah.
Going back to what he was saying a minute ago, do you think that with the pressure off of having gotten over the line now, that the boys will be just a bit more expressive on the pitch? That sort of caginess will be out the equation now.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be honest with you. It was just that one game. You know, you look at the games before that. Some of the attacking, like the goals we scored at East Grinstead. if you want to sort of look at what we try to achieve on the training ground and how we want our attacking play to look, that was our copybook for it. That was our playbook, if you like. And you just think like that was just that 1 week earlier when, you know, we were still within that journey. And that's what I say to lads, actually, you know, sometimes I think in sport the journey's better than the destination. You know, I look back with great fondness at Ashford away and Cray away. You know, they're real big moments of a season which you need to get over these little hurdles to win leagues. And I really know
away.
Yeah,
No.
So, no, I was going to say, yeah, no, that'd be on video bloopers, that one. But
yeah,
it's been. I just hope they have that feeling at East Grinstead away, where they have that fire in their belly, and this go and put the cherry on top now. And I think they will. You know, knowing the dressing room that I know it as, and as you say, that spine, that bulldog spirit, which is always related to Hastings ever since I've been here, is I think that's one thing we need to hang on to. I think it's very special and very unique. I mean, that's the difference. I hope that we really let the shackles off and it can be party time Saturday.
Hi, Gary. I think that's an interesting. You should say that, because one thing I felt after the game I felt that sense of relief on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre thing because the second half was so gritty. And
it wasn't football. It was almost rugby, wasn't it? At times, I said that it was possibly the worst possible game for the best possible outcome that I've ever seen in football. Yeah,
and but what it did make us think after the game, that sort of strange feeling of having a game like that where you win it. What we were talking about afterwards, but it reminded us of just the sheer pleasure we've had out of watching this team. Obviously, since you've taken over, but also maybe the past couple of years, despite the pandemic pains and that. And we go and watch the under-23s a couple of times. We went over to Lancing to watch them in their cup final and that. And watching them and watching the first team, the winning is fantastic. But one thing I would say is we've had an unbelievable amount of pleasure watching how good this team is. And the winning is a nice outcome of that. But believe you me, just going to games every week and watching those players and identifying with those players and you and the team, the pleasure has been just as much in watching them and enjoying them playing as it has watching them win the league as an outcome of that. It's been a week-to-week thing. It's been fantastic, that, you know. And the outcome is brilliant. But the week-to-week joy of doing it has just been brilliant.
Yeah, I think you really have to enjoy the journey. You know, I watch a lot of sport documentaries. Or anything I can feed off for motivation and things is, you know. But I remember, I think it was like Johnny Wilkinson saying when England won the Rugby World Cup, you know, all of a sudden you get to the destination and you're like, oh, you know, it's happened. And I'll be honest with you, I had that sense of that. I did. It was more relief. The weight was felt lifted. But the great thing about it is we're only at the bottom of the pyramid. And, you know, if I want to go on and achieve the things I want to do as a manager, and hopefully some of them young players in the Hastings dressing room believe that, then what I do recognise is that the club is in such a good place off the pitch, where when I got promoted with Worthing, we wasn't ready as a club off the pitch. What I can say is Hastings is definitely ready off the pitch. And we're 2 years or 3 years more advanced than when Worthing went up. And John Meaney will tell you that some of the things we had to sort out was comedy gold. It really was. And it makes you laugh, but it makes who you are, you know, and you've been there, done it. And hopefully them things will come up trumps, you know, for us this season. But you've definitely got to, you know, really enjoy the journey. And that started from Chris Agata. As I say, he laid some incredible, he laid the bricks down. The fundamentals were laid down by him. He made some young players come in the dressing room, always humble, always had a broom in their hand, sweeping the dressing rooms afterwards. And he brought me to the club. And as I say, I'll always be forever thankful for that to happen, because Hastings, you know, I go down that Elphinstone Road, and I've said it, that's my home. I know I'm coming down to where I truly love. He brought me here, and I'll always have a lot to thank him for. One of the best non-league coaches I've ever worked under. So I just wanted to make sure that gets announced, because you know, I've been there. I've probably started the Worthing bubble, if you like, and then I come away, and then probably some people overlook what I done at Worthing. But please always realise what he done for the club as well. So, you know, I know he left under a slight cloud, but that's how I truly feel.
No, but you've taken. Sorry, I was going to say you've just given that extra 5 or 10% that's turned them into winners. That's the thing, and that's the. You go to games now, and we've been to games, and you think they're going to win this, and you know that's that little difference.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was always like that in the dressing room with Ags. Anyway, I was almost like a manager on the pitch for Ags. I used to listen to him, and I think one of my strengths is I do feel the mood of the dressing room, and I am calm when I need to be calm. Like Ashford away at half time, you know, Stoney and other players will tell you this. Yeah, I look back on that. That was the best team talk I gave this year, because I remained calm and I knew what the game plan was. And maybe in the past when I was playing player manager, got too emotional and things like that. But that's hopefully where I've improved as a human being and as a football person. So, you know, hopefully that little 10 or 15% maybe I have added, but I just
feels like
think, it's just a whole journey, and there's a lot of people to thank on the way, and I just never want Aggie to be overlooked for how important he was to this club.
I think what it does for me is I loved Aggie, great, like you said, the foundation that he built there, but it's all the more credit to you. I think if you're stepping in the shoes of someone where the team's spiraled downhill, you know that's a different situation to what you came into. And to earn the respect of the players so quickly and the fans and everything, I think I'd like to say thank you to you. You know, and you've just taken things on and on. You built on any foundation that was laid, and you've got us into this position now. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, well said, John.
Yeah, no, much, it's much appreciated. It is, and I'll always deflect it back onto the group as well, because, as I say, it's just honestly, it's the greatest dressing room I've ever been involved with. We're friends off the pitch, and everyone's got each other's back, and I maybe I'm just the glue that's held it together, you know. And the players will talk more, you know, about what's good and bad, and I'll let them do that. But I've just been happy that I have been the glue that's kept everyone together, because I didn't. When I first took over, I was really scared of it fizzling out. The group didn't deserve what was happening to them, and with regards, you know, Aggie, one of their best managers, leaving, and I just wanted to protect what Aggie had done, and that's what I would say. Probably the best thing I've done is that I've just been the glue that's kept this special group of players together.
And maybe it shouldn't be a concern as such, but with success breeds, and I can't think. I've been trying to think of the word I'm looking for, but when the big boys come hunting, if you see what I mean. And, you know, like when you've got the likes of TC and Kane Penn, Legg, Jack Bates, you know, you've got them coming through, and you say about keeping these group of players together. Obviously, people are going to come, the big boys, if you like, but and sometimes it's a little bit, they see it as the way forward, and rightly so. You know, they're young boys and think, well, I'm going up 2 leagues and that sort of thing. And we've seen a couple go to Sutton and, you know, then gone out on loan to Tunbridge Angels and so forth.
I remember, we talked about that. It's, the grass isn't always greener.
That's right. How are we going to keep this fine squad of group of lads together?
One thing, again, that I definitely had this experience at Worthing, where the club wasn't quite ran at that time correctly. A lot of these players wasn't under certain contracts. They left for very cheap money, and we had to get like a lot of a turnover of player through the door because of how it was just too risky. The club wasn't safe enough off the pitch. It's different with Hastings. So straight away, I've come in and I know, you know, I look at contracts and things like that. Straight away, the club has protected themselves, which is incredible. So people like TC and they've all got like an option for another year. So all you have to do is send a letter off to engage them within another year. So straight away, I take my hats off to the club because they've done it professionally. The other thing I would say as well, which is not always easy, Malk, but someone like TC, he needs a year in this league to prove himself. The athleticism goes up. He will need a sharper footballing brain again. He will know he won't have to do them big wandering runs that is great to his game. He will have to chop and change his game up. That run won't always be on. So what I would advise to these guys is let's calm down. Let's make sure we're grounded. We have a good season next year. If then they leave after a year doing well in it, then I can take my hats off to them and they deserve that move. Yeah. But one thing as well is I've got to be right on my toes as well to say, hang on a minute, I've got this one in the book, that one in the book that I've identified as good players. I've got to have people watching games and I've got to be right on my toes, ready to replace players at certain times. So the turnaround of players ain't going to be as hefty as what I had at Worthing. I think 7 players left because, we were so successful. But then Worthing didn't give me the money to go again, where with Hastings, once again, it is such a well-run club in the background that, first of all, I think the support is there. And second of all, they've done their business correctly in doing the deals they've done. So once again, hats off to the club.
Yeah. I was going to say that I know Pat the other week was saying that they have kind of put this blueprint of a model in, which is kind of quite similar to what Sutton had done. And the recruitment that they need to do to sort of see that through has got to be sort of spot on. And as you say, like having the crowds there is a big way of funding it because no one else in this league or even the next league other than Worthing get figures like Hastings do they? Which is incredible.
No. It's you're absolutely spot on. And also, and I've got to stress this, you have got to get the right character in the building. That you cannot, they have got this dressing room will find you out in a heartbeat. If you're above your station, if you're not putting it in, even in training, that's what I love about this group of men. There's characters in there. They're self-policed. You get found out. And that's why some players go by the wayside. That's why some elevate into players that they are now. So once again, it's been work in progress. It's been a journey, and it's up to me, myself, and the staff now to do it again. But everything's there to facilitate that.
I think that's another thing that I don't know the players anywhere near as well as a couple of the lads do. I'm probably at best on nodding terms with a couple of them. But the one thing that always strikes me is they're just such a fundamentally decent bunch of blokes, and that really comes across. And I think that matters. And that matters in all the situations they found themselves, I think. But that really comes across, I must admit. That's quite noticeable.
It means more than anything. I've been in some terrible dressing rooms as players. I really have. I've been in some desperate dressing rooms where you get beat 5-1, but the guy that scores the one goal puts a picture up on Twitter, another one. And I'm thinking, I want to strangle him. I really do, because you have not put a shift in for the team. You don't care about the team. You don't care about the club. And that is one thing I will always stress to anyone that walks within our dressing room door. That badge on your chest means more than anyone in this dressing room. You're no one's bigger than that. And that grit and determination. And it's only a Hastings thing as well. Whenever I've played closer to home in Brighton, Sussex clubs, I've namby-pamby, but Hastings boys, like Sammy Adams, for instance, he's one of my best teammates. What a selflessness. Everything's about the team. Everything's about his teammate. And Jack Dixon, the same again. Even in a night out, they'll be the first ones. Pat, you all right? You need a drink. And once again, it goes a long way in life in general. And if you surround yourself with good people like that, you're rarely going to go wrong. So
quite often you got Kenny on the line as well, shouting just like you do.
Well, Kenny,
he could be he's unbelievable.
He's incredible,
especially with the youngsters. He's really, really good.
Yeah, I have to pull him back at times, Kenny, bless him. But once again, the Hastings spirit, and I think going forward, that is always something that I want to try to keep intact with the team as long as I'm, at the club. I think it's very important to have local lads playing for their local team at Hastings, because there is another dimension to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, you could see the Saturday night, you could see the unity and the team spirit in the lads when they got together and battered that mannequin. You know, that was teamwork of the highest
level. It was all for one-on-one throw, I think. Yeah, Finn decapitated him and then Stoney hit him with a few body shots. that was that. So, honestly, they're absolutely on point and fantastic people.
Mm. And for those younger ones, a point that you were saying earlier, you know, the young one, talented ones, excellent potentials for the future, but wouldn't you rather stay with this club, with this crowd, with this team until maybe you're a bit more mature, then go and play second team football for a bigger club? You know,
I'm always wary. There's a lot of, you get a lot of agents sniffing around, and the thing that annoys me is the agents don't know what business they're selling. So, for instance, TC, he's not a centre midfielder. He's been the best right back for the second. Do they know that is his position? I'm not sure. But I don't know if they come to games to watch. So I don't know if most of them sometimes don't even know the product they're selling. So straight away, that's a thing. And second of all, you can watch an under-23 game. It's nowhere near the pace of a first team game. And I'm always, you know, you'll see it even when I was playing, my brother was playing. Me and my brother were probably the slow burners, if you like. There was always people more talented than that. But without hard work, once again, without being humble, without being grounded, forget about it. You've got to have that in your game. And once again, that's my message to youngsters. You know, I get very annoyed when I hear some of the youngsters with agents. There's no need. When you're that age, the business can be done club to club. There can be a transfer fee. It's agreed and it's done and he's gone. But it's happened this year. There's been young players trialling around. They go on several trials. Nothing happens. Their confidence goes rock bottom, and you've got to build that player all the way up again. And I'm very,
they don't always hear you though, Gaz, do they? Don't always hear you.
They'll see the big thing, but I really do hope they do listen to me because I've lived it and breathed it. Stoney has. I hope they listen to people like him because it's a very different atmosphere, a different environment, and I just hope that patience, it does get rewarded if it's done the right way. The player I sold properly for big money was Omar Bugel at Worthing. He absolutely ripped Ryman South East apart with goals, but they still was wary of the level. And then he done it again at Ryman Prem. He got a 30 grand move to Forest Green. No trials, just went straight there. That for me is the way it should be done. Yeah. And I hope it is the way it's done under this era, if you like. So fingers crossed they listen. Because I truly believe with John Meaney as well and Andrew Brown, they're not going to receive better coaching. I really do believe that.
Yeah. Stuff.
We always say that for other teams that come and play at Hastings, you know, the average gate in this league is like 300 people or something. That to come and play at the Pilot Field when there's, you know, a minimum sort of 1,200 is a massive thing. And that for players to be able to do that, you know, every other week, that's got to be worth something in itself, isn't it? To be able to, you know, perform on that sort of crowd basis every week.
Well, yeah, once again, it's the identity of the club. It really is. The fans, the noise it makes, and it's a major part of our success. It is because, you know, the levels, the motivation levels are already just a little bit higher maybe than other players get. You know, someone like VCD, very talented bunch of players, but maybe they're slightly demotivated certain weeks because they've only got a small crowd. And I definitely do think it's a vehicle for success is the crowd we get, 100%.
I've said it on here before, Gaz. You're a player and an ex-player. You're a manager. Yeah. But it's all about the fans, isn't it? You know, players want to perform, and they're in the industry of performing, and they want to perform in front of fans. And you know, to get the fans is what they want to play in front of.
Yeah, and the difference, and that's the thing I like about non-league football, is you've got that personal touch. If you know you're doing the business on the pitch, you come in, you have a pint, and you get a lot of pats on the back, and you don't get that being a Premier League player, do you? You know, it's that's the thing about non-league. You know when you're doing well because people will tell you you're doing well, especially at a place like Hastings. So you're absolutely spot on, Malc.
Yeah.
One thing quick, actually, Gary, I wanted to ask you. You might not want to answer it, but I mean, what's your thoughts on the ground move? And I know it's not happening
well,
now. I mean,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Chris. A lot of my mind, I didn't really go much into it because, and I mean this, I was so driven to succeed, and you know, you're constantly looking at opposition and what you want to do. So I have got a blurred opinion on it. To be honest with you, I'm absolutely gutted. I'm devastated because for the fans, maybe because you know what, I don't see no reason why to stand against it. I just don't understand it. You look at the crowd they're getting in. You're only going to make the community a better thing, or you know, you're only going to enhance young people's lives. You're only going to get more people staying on the straight and narrow because they're involved with sport and things like that. So, and even me, I know mental well-being. You know, if you're part of a team, if you've got that camaraderie, if you're meeting your mates, you're meeting your players in the dress, it's the best feeling in the world. You know, people work all week for that release at the weekend. So, I think Hastings Council have really not covered themselves in glory. But the only, you know, the flip side of that is the nostalgia of the pilot field. It's an old-fashioned ground. No, there's nothing like it. And so they're the things that we've got to lean on maybe to keep bringing the successes. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned ground and all that, but blimey, you can get some numbers at the pilot field. It's been a vehicle for success, as I've mentioned. So we have to keep going until the council give the green light to the other place. But I am shocked, and I don't understand it, Chris, to be quite honest with you, why you'd want to stand against something like that, where you've got so much poverty and happening in the world. Then why can't you be that little ray of sunbeam shining down on Hastings? I just don't understand it.
Cheers, Gary. George, you want to say anything? You've been quiet, mate. Not like you.
Yeah, could I ask, are there any games in particular you're looking forward to in the league above? Any maybe scores to settle, or just nice trips?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't, you know, I haven't really looked at it much yet, to be honest. But you know, there's a couple of rivalries that hopefully we can fire up again. You know, Folkestone and places like that. You know, Lewis is always it's a great. That's another sort of old-fashioned ground, though, isn't it? The dripping pan. And there'll be numbers there and things like that. So I think they're the big games you look at, don't you? Lewis and the Folkestones of this world, and you know, but I just got so much. What would you say, like burning desire to go again. It's good, really. It's great. It really is, and I can't wait to settle business in this league, and I'll probably have a couple of weeks off, but then they'll be back to work, and how we want to go about it next year, which I'm looking forward to.
Enjoy being champions first, Gaz.
Yeah.
No, that's once again, you know, you learn from experience when you're all saying that. You know, I need to take that on board, and you know, I think you are right, Mel. You need to. Life does go very quickly, and you do need to enjoy success. So
they're few and far between. So enjoy it while you got it. You know, they don't come along that often. So
no, you're spot on, mate.
Yeah, Will's gonna be calling for your head in a few weeks, mate.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange because you've been we've been champions for 3 years, and this is it's quite exciting to think that we're going into a league where we're not expected or not favourites to win every game, and it's going to be a real exciting challenge.
I think that's going to be. Yeah, that's going to be what. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to, is seeing really competitive games week in, week out. It may not always go our way, but that's going to be absolutely fascinating to see this bunch evolve and into the next league up. That's going to be really, really good. I think really quite excited about that.
I think we're around ourselves really well.
Yeah,
we come up against higher opposition, haven't we, in the last few
years? Yeah, the cup and that.
Done all right, haven't we? So
you think we beat Chippenham away, didn't we? In their National League South side.
There you go. Yeah.
We're much stronger than when we got, when we won the playoffs, like 2007. I'd say we're much stronger than that team that went up. So, you know, and they struggled, didn't they, for a couple of seasons? And I've no worries in the next league up.
I mean, one thing I want to make sure everyone, I'm sure I'm not just speaking for myself here, but I've been absolutely buzzing since we've won. Yeah. No, I'm not on drugs. I have been at work, so don't. But like,
Let's
just so you know.
NHS.
Well, yeah, we're just we all
a little store
the yellow pills, we're taking all of them, mate.
Taking the patients.
Yeah, right. Shut up, Leon. Right. but just so you know, I mean, I know you yourself and the players. I hope you realise, and I'm not speaking just for myself. Like everyone, we're on cloud nine, and that feeling, I think we get that when you come to the pilot field, that family feeling that's there. And I mean, we're just so happy, and as you say, a moment of happiness in a world after time that's full of bad news, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's been great, particularly with COVID and everything. It's been fantastic. It's definitely kept me going.
Exactly. I want to just say thank you to all you lot, every single one of you. I think you all went on Saturday. I didn't go because I can't go Saturday afternoons to away games, but. Without all the feedback, no working, and with all the
so was I.
All the feedback that's coming, from social media and stuff, plus Adam's radio, yourself, Chris, with the podcast, everything. It's just made it so much better this year. It's just gone to a different.
Just on that note, John, and I'd like to ask everyone, is it with the pandemic? And and I suppose everyone else was the same as me. Sort of each time it happened, each season, you thought, and it's certainly last season. Can't they do it points per game and this sort of thing? And we were all working it out. And don't you think that winning it this year has just felt a little bit better than it could have done winning it the first year? Because none of us knew whether we was ever going to play football again. None of us knew whether, sort of when it was going to restart, if it was ever going to restart, and all of a sudden, we would, like I say, points per game where we were saying, well, we deserve it. We were that far ahead. And then it was, no, we're not doing it that way. And we're looking at others saying, well, how come they went up and we didn't? And, now you've changed the format of the leagues and everything like that. And then all of a sudden this one come along. And we've had a couple of weeks where we thought, are we? We're not playing quite so well, and it's
Corinthians away.
Do you know what? I think it's an important point you make, Mel, because I just think once again, you've always got to look at what positive things have come from it, and I think them 3 seasons. Maybe if we did go up sooner, maybe once again the club may not have been quite ready off the pitch. You've given a young player like TC another couple of years of manning up, progressing his game, and James Hull all of a sudden coming along, and these players. So I think it's a really important point you make, and I just think the club is really ready to go up, off and on the pitch, and maybe it might have been differently. And to be honest with you, a big thing that would have been 100% would have been replacing me at a higher level if I was still playing. And thankfully, now I see someone like Finn O'Mara coming in, that maybe the club wouldn't have had Finn O'Mara if we went up, 2 or 3 years ago. And all of a sudden, you've got a centre-half and a potential skipper of a club for maybe the next 10 years. So I think it's always really important to look at what positives have maybe come from it. Football is a game of timings. It really is, You look at myself, I was playing at the start of the year. I'm a manager. It's been a real strange transition, but once again, timings, it might not have happened. It wouldn't have happened, if we went up with Ags. And that's why I'm always thankful for Ags bringing me to the club and, him departing. But then I've got to be really thankful for Darren Burney, Peter Sherlock and Billy Wood forever trusting me to hold it together and do what we've done. So it's been a funny 3 years. It's been a funny world for the last 5 years. But when you do succeed like we have done, it makes it all worth it. And in a weird way, do you know what? The club might be better, going up as we have done this year. on and off the pitch. So
and that's why I say enjoy. You know,
I
saw Craig 2-3 years ago. You know, when we were sitting down in his kitchen talking about are they ever going to? Who's died? Has he died? I thought. Yeah, talking about, you know, sort of when they were ever going to play again. You know, he couldn't get out to training. He couldn't do anything. He was just eating, you know, because that's all anyone done through the pandemic was just eat because he couldn't go out. And, you know, and then so there was down times and working out, they might do, you know, points per game and this type of thing. And then you see him Saturday, you know, and really enjoying the moment, if you see what I mean. And that's why I say enjoy it because it's so far between.
Yeah. Well, that's what choked me up, actually. I was all right. And then I saw Stoney and I just thought, bloody hell, I've shared a pitch with the man for the last 3 years and I started welling up. And then I've got Louise looking at me saying, bloody hell, man, up Gaz. But, you know, I saw Stoney and I just thought, bloody hell, you know, he's been a big friend and a big player next to me. And then all of a sudden he's played under me. And I looked at that's, you know, it all started hitting home about, you know, what the journey we've been on and the success that we've had. And, you know, if you look at our winning, like the games that the team has won in the last 3 years, the clean sheets, I'd love to see how many clean sheets we've kept in the last 3 or 4 seasons. It's been one of a kind, and I'm just really glad to have just put that cherry on the top, and to the era needed, you know, to be rewarded for, and it has done that, and that's something I'll always look back with great fondness. That's for sure.
And you were saying about your dad earlier, you know, times Craig's come off, you know, when he's, you know, conceded a goal and things like that, you know, and he's moaned about, if he hadn't done that, all you got to do is clear it, you know. I said, Craig, it's a goal. You know, you come off, you won 4-1, you know, he's gone, we still let a goal in, you know, and I said, you're 34, you know, like, what are you worried about letting a goal in? You know, it's just...
Yeah, no, it's also, you know, it definitely extends to families as well, you know, there's, for someone like Sammy Adams, you know, the guy's won a league now, and that makes me more happy than all the other things, really. That someone like him, the career he's had for Hastings, the appearance he's made, he's going to be lifting the league trophy with Jack Dixon, 2 Hastings local lads.
Yeah,
you know, that for me, I said it in a newspaper interview. That's just special for me.
You can't get any more local than those 2.
I can't top that. And, you know, I'd happily not even lift the trophy just to see them 2 do it, because they deserve it, and they're good old muckers. So, that'd be brilliant to watch.
Excellent. Smithy, you want to say anything?
No, it's been amazing listening to you guys. You've asked it all, and just echo everything everyone said. And, you know, thank you to Gaz and the boys for this season. The roller coaster we've all been on together, and it has been, as much as the players are together, the fans are together, and we're all together with the players as well. It's been amazing.
Brilliant. Well said, Smithy. No, there is a great. I think the boys do buzz off it. The sense of unity around the place is second to none. And as I say, you know, at the moment I'm working in the week, and I just can't wait for the week to be over to come to the pilot field. That's how I truly feel, and like, what a way to live your life like that. That, you know, you're part of a football club that makes you feel like that way. So and that you guys have done that for me as well. You know, I've never been so close to supporters in any club, and that goes a long way. So thanks Smithy, everyone. As I said to you, Chris, I'm always thanking you for the work you do as well, because you promote the club brilliantly in a shining light. You're always having a giggle on this podcast and that. And football's about putting smiles on faces. It's going to make me well up sharp, Gary. No, it's true, mate. It's about putting smiles on faces. You've only got one life, and you've got to go for the max and go for it and strive to be the best at whatever you do. Be the best supporter, and I give it a go. And that's what I'm all about. So it's been fantastic.
Cheers.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I must say, I've got to agree with you about Chris. It's been great. No, the interviews through the season,
they've been brilliant.
The only thing he hasn't had with this diarrhea bug is any clean sheets for ages.
I knew the burial was coming.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone as well. All the clubs that Craig's been at, you know, this is the one that's been more family friendly as well. and made us, Craig's family, including myself, as a part of your family. Apart from Leon, who's sort of led me up the garden path a little while,
I had no phone signal.
No phone signal. I'll take you. Gary perhaps don't know about that. He said, give us your phone number. I'll take you down and show you Old Town at Hastings. So I gave him my number. Nothing. I rang him all night up till 2:30 in the morning. Till he ignored me. So
he's still trying to find that satellite now, can he?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Brilliant.
Gary, we've kept you for over an hour now. I don't know, has anyone else got anything to say to Gary after we let him go?
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, cheers, Gary.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Thanks for everything you do, mate.
No, different class. It's, as I say, all about smiles on faces, and you've been immense as well. So I appreciate everything you do, and we go again next year as well. So we keep going. Well, get business done this year. That's the main thing. Then we'll go again. Yeah.
Let's enjoy Saturday first.
Enjoy Saturday.
Yeah.
That's my only other thanks is to Billy Wood for making Saturday all the beer is free. So,
it's an incredible gesture. It really is.
Yeah. Anyone else that's listening, then come along because all the beer's free.
Yeah.
You'll find he's probably just fainted somewhere.
It was last Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that was just that you never got around in, Leon.
Right, and Gaz, I think actually, you know what? I think we should leave it there. I'm a bit emotional now, right? Should we leave it there, or do you want us chaps to carry on and let Gary go?
No,
I'll happily go now. Then,
you've had a long time, mate.
No. As I say, it's honestly, it's great, and it's fantastic to be able to talk about it. So we keep going, and I'll see you at the game Saturday, gents.
See you at the game
Saturday.
Thanks very much, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Wow, that was good, wasn't it?
It was.
Was good. Yeah.
It's good.
Very good. Yeah.
Oh man.
He's a very impressive man.
Well, this could go into Dicko's tackle territory there, Andy. I'm a bit worried.
Call it while we're ahead.
I love the mentality side of it. I find that all that quite fascinating, and I just think he's brought something, just topped up what Agatha had put there. And considering when he came in and what the mood was like when he came in, and how he seized it, and there's just something, like I said, there's just something about watching the team. You think, like I said, all I can describe is like at Ashford. You think they're going to win this, and that little change is just, he's some guy.
I'd like to know Chris's thoughts, if you see what I mean, or how he feels about it. It's because he set the groundwork in there, didn't he? And right, Stevenage come along, and who wouldn't take that opportunity when you're offered it, if you see what I mean. But it's I'd like to know exactly how he feels, really. And I know he's obviously pleased and so forth, but
Malcolm, he's coming on the podcast.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
great.
just not. He didn't want to come on. Obviously, it wanted to be after we've settled everything, and so it's not anything to do about him. That's what he said. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to have him on. He's a top bloke. I don't care what anyone says about him going.
He's nice top bloke. At the end of the day, it's promotion, isn't it? We'd all take promotion in our work life, and so you can't hold anything against anyone wanting to better themselves. And Stevenage is bettering themselves, whichever way you look at it.
It's not even just promotion, is it? It's from essentially Division 8 to Division 4. Like, no one is going to begrudge him that, are they?
Of course they're not. No.
It was nice of Gary to sort of make a point to say about mention Aggie, because I think you'd be a fool to sort of dismiss the hard work he put into the club the last, however, was it 3-4 years? But before he took over, he was sort of at the wrong, the bottom half of the table, averaging 300-400. brought in a more attractive style of football that obviously helps with attendances. So
well, there's no doubt about that, because that goes back to, remember when we were your typical sort of Boxing Day, Easter bank holiday, toddle down to the pilot field type supporters, and then suddenly you thought, hang on, something's changed here, something's different, and then it began to dawn on you what it was, and it was Agatha that had done that, and that was the catalyst for us. There's no doubt he's been instrumental in the whole thing.
Well, yeah, and that's why I say all the players had a lot of time for him. I think the fans had a lot of time for him.
Yeah,
and respected him, and that's why I just wonder how he feels, because he wasn't given the opportunity through life, so if you like, pandemic, and then getting that chance of promotion, that he couldn't finish what he started, and it's I just wondered how he actually feels within himself, and like I say, ultimately he's thinking great, and he's pleased for everyone, but within his heart, if you see what I mean, whether you think, well, I started that, I wish I'd been able to finish it, it's...
I think that was our only, whilst we all wished him well at the time and could see why he went, that was most of us, that was our biggest thought. Will he regret not finishing what he started?
Yeah.
But I think I can only imagine that the type of guy he wasn't in it for the massage of the ego, was he? It wasn't about him. He didn't like all that accolade, and so I'm sure he'll be pleased that he's the state of the club now, and knowing that he played a big part in that. But I just think as well, what an immense achievement for Gary as well. Like I said, stepping into those shoes, but also commanding such respect and doing so well with his team decisions, considering the people he's now directing, who he was shoulder to shoulder with as a teammate at the start of the season. It's great, isn't it? He's now got that respect of the team and also us fans.
I think it shows what a leader he was on the pitch, that he just so comfortably transitioned to manager, because sometimes going from being everyone's mate on the pitch to manager, quite a lot of people struggle with that, don't they? In all walks of life, and particularly sport. And he obviously commanded that respect already. So the transition was, I say, easier, but he'd already got that. So him becoming the boss, he was almost the boss on the pitch, even if he didn't have the armband.
I make you right, Andy. I mean, he earned that respect on the pitch, but it always makes you wonder how the likes of Jose Mourinho and people like that weren't good, and Arsene Wenger and that weren't good players on the pitch, that they get that respect as a manager.
That's an interesting feature in professional level. So many top managers were just below top level as players, weren't they?
Yeah. So how do they gain that respect? Gary's earned his respect on the pitch of being a leader, and being mouthy on the pitch, if you like, and being first to defend his teammates and that sort of thing. So he gained that respect on the grass. So a lot of the top managers haven't gained that respect on the grass. It's.
But sometimes because he's got John to do a lot of the technical work for him, it's obvious that John's technical input and his input during the games is huge, isn't it? Sometimes those managers who are, say, I don't know, they're a bit more boffin-like, aren't they? They do all the thinking, and they've quite often got their second man is a more successful player who's the link into the players. So sometimes they have a different type of character working with them to make that link into the players.
Andy, do you think it could possibly be like Bobby Robson, Jose Mourinho at Barcelona? Or were you looking at that sort of possible Meany, Elphick?
Come
on.
Just to touch on those last points that were going on. So I think I can't vouch for it, but there's a little interview with Agatha where he was saying about sort of implementing that, treating it as a professional football club at all levels. And so that legacy, I think, is probably embedded a little bit. I think the trust that the players have in Gary is probably a big factor as to why they've taken to him so well and why he succeeded, because they've played with him as well as playing under him. They must trust him. Yeah. I think that shows on the pitch, didn't it, on a Saturday?
Yeah. Well, it was like where Aggie got the right people in, didn't he? He got Elphick in, he got characters, strong people in the dressing room. So he didn't have to worry about that dressing room too much, because as Gary said, it pleases itself. It's one less thing they've got to worry about. And as that, when he got Finn in, which was an inspiring, whoever suggested Finn was available. I mean, what an inspiring signing, that, you know, that big hole that we had at the back. Remember when Gary wasn't fit? It was a worry. Well, it was a worry with me anyway. I'm far more emotional than John Wills, who said, don't worry. But, you know, got Finn in, things settled down. And, yeah.
It's astounding that Finn O'Mara was sort of swashing around looking for a club, isn't it, really? In the cold light of day, that's just incredible.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, I think he was still, when he came here, you know, it wasn't done and dusted, was it, really? And but I think he fell in love with the place and the rapport with the fans, and knowing that he's actually come to a big club, you know, I think it's a big drawing thing, the type of attendances we get, and that family feeling, you know, that you're really part of something.
But it was scary because you didn't want him to do well, but you wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
Because you thought, well, if you're Folkestone and not, you know, they're only one league ahead, and you think if you're doing really well, they're going to have you back. They're not going to let you come to us. But on the other end, you thought, we really want you to do well because we need you to do well.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Billy said similar, because I think when he came on loan, his transfer value wasn't the same as it was when we tried to sign him permanently, because he'd done so well.
Yeah,
he did that bloody over a kick, didn't
he? You wanted us to be 3-1 up and Finn O'Mara to score an own goal, didn't you? It was like that. It was like, let's get the 3 points, but you score an own goal, so folks can go, oh, yeah, I'm glad we got rid of him. You know.
And instead of that, Malcolm, he scores an overhead kick, and that does us financially.
Oh no!
What's he playing at?
Oh no! What are you doing?
Right, chaps. Right, and George, you've been very quiet today. Robbie's been very quiet.
Been great listening to it. And anyway, we got 2 big games at the weekend, so saving the voice. 2 games in 3 days. So. But it feels like Neil Cugley at Folkestone massively dropped the ball on that one, on Finn O'Mara. And it'd be lovely to see perhaps Finn O'Mara finish higher in the league than Folkestone next season. But it's one of those. Obviously, he's he's been in management, longest serving manager in English football. You don't get to do that unless you're doing a lot of things right. But I think it's quite clear. And chatting to quite a few Folkestone fans, they see it as a ball being dropped, really, letting him go. And at such a young age as well. Got all that ahead of him. So, looking forward to it.
George, he was only here 5 minutes, and you've given him a couple of songs already. I was just thinking. I was honestly walking around Morrison's yesterday, subconsciously, without knowing it, singing that Billy Wood went to Kent in his Citroen Zara, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? People look at me funny.
And then a security guard turned up.
I've had a couple of Folkestone fans message me today because they've seen that tweet that says in a Citroen Zara. I said, well, up on it. I said, what does this mean? What does this reference mean? What should I tell them? Any ideas?
Nothing.
Robbie, talk to us, Robbie.
I've just been enjoying listening. I mean, I've only recovered from my hangover today, but
yeah.
Because I was not in a good way.
Do you remember much? Because I remember we saw you. I think we saw you before the game. And
I saw you.
Yeah.
I don't remember the photo of the chair. I don't remember a lot of things.
You was the first one on the pitch.
Oh yeah,
I was trying to whistle when I looked over. You was already at the 18-yard line.
Yeah.
I thought, bloody hell, mate, you should do a bit of sprinting. That was you after about 10 pints, mate. You should take up sprinting.
Oh yeah.
And then I
jumped over. The steward gave me a little shove. I'm like, why are you picking on me? There's 100 of us about to jump on the pitch.
He went for me afterwards. He tried to tell me to get off. I went, it's good to know, mate. And I went, oh, Billy.
Oh, well, if you can't remember the game, Robbie, I really wouldn't worry about it.
I don't remember the game, but I do remember the celebrations, and I feel a life ambition of leading a pitch invasion, so I'm happy.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be great on Saturday again. It's just looking around that pilot field when you've got that many people in there, and you know how I feel about the pilot field, but it's fantastic. It's a really great place to be.
On that note, Chris, what have they got lined up for Saturday? You know, like it's a fans' day.
No alcohol. We decided that we've been drinking too much, so we've all banned alcohol from the whole ground. We're all going vegan today.
Switch him off, Chris, can you?
No, what happened is they ran out.
Yeah.
We did drink a lot of
Malcolm's embraced cancel culture. He's cancelling Robbie. Right. As there's going to be the mascots. We've got all the mascots. I think 2 of your kids doing the mascots, aren't they, Matt? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they're getting the whole full mascot treatment, full on. That's excellent. We did try and order a few other bits and pieces, but basically there's a football match. Enjoy the football match. There'll be beer available, Malcolm.
There's a trophy presentation I hear.
There might be a cake sale.
Really silly question. Presentation of the cup before or after the game?
After the game.
After. Got to be after.
There'll be a pitch invasion. No, so we'll all obey legal rules, of course. So once we've obeyed legal rules on the pitch, I think they'll do the main stand, I imagine.
Have they got a stand? Have they got a stand, Chris? So that us in the main stand can see.
What? See, we're doing it in the middle of the pitch, weren't they?
No, they did it in the main stand before.
Yeah, every time they've done before, they've done the main stand.
No, they did.
In front of the directors, isn't it? Like that bit, they do it, yeah.
Oh, right near us, Andy.
You'll have a prime view there.
I'll be able to shake their hand like they do at Wembley.
Prawn sandwiches flying everywhere.
You're the Queen.
But
I was about to say.
The acoustics will be better if it's sort of in the stand area, won't it? You know, that's going to be fantastic.
I want that though. Yeah. Dicko and Anna was lifting up. The pitch just full of fans. Them lifting up in front of a great photo.
Yeah.
Scott
More shenanigans in the clubhouse after.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not working the next day either. So.
Hey.
Nice.
Do you remember getting?
Do you ever really work though? You claim you do. Free entry.
Hang on. When was the last time I got free entry? Anyway, go on, Leon. What are you saying?
As I say, on Saturday, do you remember getting James Hull to ring up or FaceTime his brother?
Oh, wasn't that brilliant?
I remember that. And he hung up.
He didn't know. He stayed on the phone for about 9-10 seconds, and he had a face like fire, and like we were all singing at him. James Hull, and we were going up and all that. And then he's like, ooh, I just turned it off. It was great.
I do remember that. And that's when
James
I got smashed in the face by a wine bottle by Kobe by mistake. Good fun.
We've also got an image with James Hull embracing no Crocs. He's gone back to sliders. The Crocs are gone.
Yeah, I got a photo of him, didn't I?
Yeah.
Chaps, I've got to make a move. I've got
to bloody edit this. Right.
This Saturday, guys.
Leave it all in.
It's this Saturday.
Great.
Windy.
See you, Windy.
Take care, Windy. Sorry, go on, Rob, before we go.
I was about to say, didn't enjoy it. Just cut this last bit out where we throw Stoney under the bus and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Stoney's not going to get buried. I might do some creative work there.
Bury
Windy, Leon, Malcolm, John, Andy, Paws Cat and Dog Rescue, Matt, that's the new one, and George.
I've just seen that.
Love you all, and I will see you at the game Saturday.
See you Saturday.
See you later.
See you at the game.
See you guys.
See you all Saturday.
That's it for another week, News fans. We've only gone and done it, haven't we? What a feeling. Let's all get down the pilot field this Saturday and watch Jack Dixon lift that title trophy. Ishmi and Prem, here we come. As ever, if you want to get in contact with the show or have any suggestions or want to get in on our weekly roundtables, that email again is hufcpod@gmail.com or on the Twitter, which is @HUFCpodcast. You can get this podcast on all major platforms, be it Google Podcasts, Audible, iTunes, Spotify or Amazon Music. And we have a jam-packed YouTube channel, chock-a-block, full of video interviews and episodes from the podcast. Please, please, please give it a look, a comment or a like, but definitely subscribe. It's all free. all that's left for me to say is I've been your host, Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good week and see you at the game.